Thank you everyone for joining me tonight. It's our last speech. So I would like to start off on a certain day. On September 27th, 2018, on this particular night, I was laying in bed and I had this very weird feeling. You know that weird feeling you get and you know something bad's about to happen? Well, that happened to me, but I paid no mind. So I paid no mind, I went back to bed. So it was during the early morning of that particular night that I was waking up by my phone vibrating uncontrollably. So I picked up my phone and I saw that my Uncle Juan had called me. So I called him back. That same night, he informed me that my uncle, Edgar Figueroa, had committed suicide. Now, for my survey, I had to ask the class if you knew anybody who committed suicide between the ages of 15 and 24. And shockingly, 80% of the class knew someone that had died. This very day changed my life. It changed the lives of his children, and it taught me what it meant to have and experience a loss, true loss. Unfortunately, many people with this depression die, and depression is a disease. This disease is attacking the youth in the United States as we speak right now. According to Stanford University, on the article of teen suicide, it said that suicide is the third leading cause of death in 15 to 24-year-olds. Now, I know my uncle isn't a teenager by any means necessary. He's not. He was a grown man. But it made me think, for my cousin's sake, of his mental health status. Through my research, I found 4 credible sources that surround teens committing suicide and its implications on society as a whole. It also affects teenagers the most, as this event affected my cousin the most, leaving him asking himself why, leaving him in a depression, thinking about the values of his own life. Today, I will convince you that teenagers are at the highest risk for suicide, and that as a society, we should monitor the usage of antidepressants and watch the behavior and help break the stigma surrounding suicide. Now, now that I've shown you some evidence of the increased rates, you may be wondering, what is the cause? So the first question that I asked in the class, the second question that I asked you in my survey was that, what were the factors that contributed to teens committing suicide? Is it stress? Is it fear? Is it confusion? Or is it just pressure? And the correct answer is yes. All those factors play into the part of teens committing suicide. Everybody got that question right. So the initial suicide thoughts, believe it or not, first come from the classroom settings where you and I sit. See, teens in high school usually form groups. You know, back in high school when teens, they had the popular kids versus the not popular kids, you had your jocks and you had your nerds. But believe it or not, that does not have any involvement whatsoever. Teenagers during this stage experience different emotions, and those that have attempted suicide have the deepest problems with their anxiety. For many teens, on the outside, they seem fine, but on the inside, they're really hurt and they're suffering. According to Michael Jelenic, author of Teen Suicide May Leave You Unanswered Questions, in his article, he states that suicide constitutes the third leading cause of death. 10 to 19-year-olds account for 1,921 deaths in 2002. And still, this sobering thought of this suicide rate among children has risen 70% since 1981. Furthermore, this is a very sad truth that teenagers want to take their lives. They're taking it on purpose, but they don't realize the impact they have on society as a whole and those around them. Jelenic further states in his article that what brings them to the thudding back to earth may be something that seems not such a big deal. A D on a report, not making a team, a high school relationship, rejection of college application, or something substantial like their parents' divorce or the loss of a friend. Now that we talked about the risk, I would like to talk about the effect of not monitoring antidepressant behaviors. My final question that I asked you in my survey was that what percentage do you think people that take antidepressants commit suicide? And the correct answer was 29%. And 40% of you guys got that. Through the struggles of life, we see that antidepressant medications and the combatant thoughts affect all teens. In October 2004, the FDA released a statement known as the antidepressant SSR, which is known as SSR drug. Oh, go back. Okay, I was thinking. Okay, so the SSR medication usually has a few side effects in children and adolescents, but unknown reasons, they may trigger aggression, abnormal behavior in certain individuals. It's important to monitor teenage behaviors and watch for the warning signs. And you may ask, what are the warning signs? The warning signs are according to this article, it further states that from the article, monitoring antidepressants can prevent suicide. It states that the warning also notes that children and adolescents taking the SSR emergence of suicidal thinking and behavior are usually changes in the behavior such as sleeplessness, anxiousness, or withdrawal from normal social situations. So now that we talked about the risk and monitoring antidepressants usage, I would like to talk about how we could prevent this. So if you can, please pass this around. I have a brochure for everybody to read. I would like to call us the society, but I would like to call for the classroom to take a look and be the starting point of something big by breaking the stigma around suicide by talking about it openly. I believe with this we can empower teams and help them feel supported. This brochure that I passed out is from the Department of Public Health in the state of Idaho. They brilliantly pointed out the main severities of suicide and what to look out for. Please take a look at this brochure because you could be in a situation where you will be the determining factor to stopping suicide, especially in teens. You could save someone's life. I was able to use this brochure when I lost my uncle, with my cousin, and I was able to guide him, and so that way he won't repeat history. In conclusion, I want you guys to all know that life is a fight, and it's important that we, as the older generations or children on this generation on the same age, to push forward and help teens understand that there is a brighter tomorrow. So finally, I leave you with this quote from Rocky VI, as Sylvester Stallone's character states, and he states, "Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all about sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place. I don't care how tough you are. It will beat you down to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody's gonna hit as hard as life. It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done." So I believe that as a society, we can take this inspirational quote and use it towards stopping the rise of teens committing suicide in America by talking about the risk, monitoring the amount of antidepressants given and watching their behavior, and also talking about suicide openly to break the stigma. Thank you.